A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. For the long nights you lay awake, and watcheth for my unworthy sake, for your most comfortable hand that led me through the uneven land, for all the story books you read, for all the pains you comforted, for all you pitied, all you bore, and sad and happy days of yore, my second mother, my first wife, the angel of my infant life, for the sick child, now well and old, take nurse the little book you hold. And grant at heaven that all who read may find his dear nurse at end, and every child who lists my rhyme in the bright fireside nursery clime may hear it in as kind a voice as made my childish days rejoice. A Good Boy by Robert Louis Stevenson. I woke before the morning, I was happy all the day. I never said an ugly word, but smiled and stuck to play. And now at last the sun is going down behind the wood, and I am very happy, for I know that I've been good. My bed is waiting cool and fresh, with linen smooth and fair, and I must be off to sleep soon by, and not forget my prayer. I know that till tomorrow I shall see the sun arise, no ugly dream shall fright my mind, no ugly sight my eyes. Let slumber hold me tightly till I waken in the dawn, and hear the thrushes singing in the lilacs around the lawn. A Good Play by Robert Louis Stevenson. We built a ship upon the stairs, all made of back bedroom chairs, and fitted full of soft pillows to go a-sailing on the billows. We took a saw and several nails, and water in the nursery pails, and Tom said, "Let us also take an apple and a slice of cake," which was enough for Tom and me to go a-sailing on till tea. We sailed along for days and days, at the very best of play, but Tom fell out and hurt his knee, so there was no one left but me. A Thought by Robert Louis Stevenson. It is very nice to think the world is full of meat and drink, with little children saying grace in every Christian kind of place. About the sheltering garden ground by Robert Louis Stevenson. About the sheltering garden ground the tree stands strangely still, wherein has seemed so deep before, nor yet so high the hill. An awful sense of quietness, a fullness of repose, breathes from the dewy garden lawns the silent garden rose, as the hoof-beats of a troop of horse heard far across the plain, a near knowledge of great thoughts thrills vaguely through my brain. I lean my head upon my arm, my heart's too full to think, like a roar of seas upon my heart doth the morning stillness sink. An English Breeze by Robert Louis Stevenson. Up with the sun the breeze arose, across the talking corn she goes, and smooth rustles far and wide through all the voiceful countryside. Through all the land her tale she tells, she spins, she tosses, she compels the kites, the clouds, the windmill sails, and all the trees and all the dales. God calls us, and the day prepares with nimble, gay and gracious airs, and from Penzance to Maidenhead the roads last night he watered. God calls us from inglorious ease forth into travel with the breeze, while swift and singing, smooth and strong, she gallops by the fields along. Armies in the Fire by Robert Louis Stevenson. The lamps now glitter down the street, faintly sound the falling feet, and the blue even slowly falls about the garden trees and walls. Now in the falling of the gloom the red fire paints the empty room, and warmly on the roof it looks and flickers on the back of books. Armies march by tower and spire of cities blazing in the fire, till as they gaze with staring eyes the armies fall, the lustre dies. And once again the glow returns, again the phantom city burns, and down a red-hot valley low the phantom armies marching go. Blinking embers, tell me true, where those armies marching to, and what the burning city is that crumbles in your furnaces. As in their flight the birds of song by Robert Louis Stevenson. As in their flight the birds of song halt here and there in sweet and sunny dales, but halt not over long, but hum a rural song to sing, they pause, and following bounty's gales steer forward on the wing. Sun-servers they from first to last, but on the sun they wait to ride the sailing blast. So you while in our contested state, a while abode, no longer for a son, mother we say, no tender name we know, with whose diviner glows early days had shone, now to withdraw her radiance had begun. Or less the word I say, not she withdrew, but a loud stream of men, day after day, and great dust columns of a common way between them grew and grew. And he and she for evermore might yearn, but to the spring the rivulets not return, not to the bosom comes the child again. And he, or may we fancy so, he feeling time for the flow, and flowing beer forth and far away from the dear ingle where his life began, and all his treasure lay, he waxing into man, and ever farther, ever closer wound in this obstreperous world ignoble round, of that poor prospect turned his face away. As one who having wandered all night long, by Robert Louis Stevenson. As one who having wandered all night long in a perplexed forest, comes at length in the first hours about the maiden's song, and when the sun uprises in his strength to the fringed margin of the wood, and sees, gazing afar before him, many a mile of fallen country, many fields and trees, and cities and bright streams, and far off oceans smile. I on Melampus halting stand at gaze, I liberated look abroad on life, love and distress and dusty travelling ways, the sternman's helm, the surgeon's helpful knife, and the long plowman's earth upturning share, a reverie of cities and the sound of seas, and mountain tops aloof in air, and of circling earth the unsupported round. I looking wonder, I intend adore, and our Melampus, reaching forth my hands in adoration, cry aloud and soar in spirit high above the supine lands and the low caves of mortal things, and flee to the last fields of universe untrod, where is no man, nor any earth, nor sea, and the contented soul is all alone with God. At last she comes, by Robert Louis Stevenson. At last she comes, or never more in this dear patience of pain, to leave me lonely as before, or leave my soul alone again. At the seaside, by Robert Louis Stevenson. I was down beside the sea, a wooden spade we gave to me to dig the sandy shore. My holes were empty like a cup, and every hole the sea came up, till it could come no more. Auntie's skirts, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Whenever Auntie moves around, her dresses make a curious sound. They trail behind her up the floor and trundle after through the door. Autumn fires, by Robert Louis Stevenson. In the other gardens and all of the vale, from the autumn bonfires, see the smoke trail. Pleasant summer over, and all the summer flowers, red fire blazes with grey smoke towers. Sing a song of seasons, something bright in all, flowers in the summer, fires in the fall. Away the funeral music, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Away the funeral music, set the pipe to powerful lips, the cup of lies for him that drinks, not for him that sips. Bed in summer, by Robert Louis Stevenson. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer quite the other way, have to go to bed by day. Have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you, when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? Before this little gift was come, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Before this little gift was come, the little owner had made haste for home, and from the door of where the eternal dwell, looked back on human things and smiled farewell. Or may this grief remain the only one? Or may our house be still a garrison of smiling children, and forevermore the tune of little feet be heard along the floor? Block City, by Robert Louis Stevenson. What are you able to build with your blocks? Castles and palaces, temples and docks. Rain may keep raining, and others go roam, but I can be happy in building at home. Let the sofa be mountains, the carpet be sea, where I'll establish a city for me, a kirk and a mill and a palace beside, the harbour as well that my vessels may ride. Great is the palace, with pillar and wall, a sort of a tower on top of it all, and steps coming down in an orderly way to where my toy vessels lie safe in the day. With one is sailing and with one is moored, hark to the song of the sailors on board, and see on the steps of my palace the kings coming and going with presents and things. Christmas at Sea, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The sheets were frozen hard, and they cut the naked hand, the decks were like a slide, where seamen scarce could stand. Wind was no wester, blowing squally of the sea, and cliffs and spouting breakers were the only thing a lee. We heard the surf a-roaring before the break of day, but 'twas only with a peep of light we saw how ill we lay. We tumbled every hand on deck and stand her with a shout, and we gave her the main-tops and stood by to go about. All day we tacked and tacked between the south head and the north, while we haul the frozen sheets and go no further forth. All day as cold as charity in bitter pain and dread, the very life and nature we tacked from head to head. We gave the south a wider breath, where the tide race wrought, and every tack we made we brought the northward close abroad. So we saw the cliffs and houses, the breakers running high, and the coastguard in his garden with glass against his eye. The frost was on the village roof as white as ocean foam. The good red fires were burning bright in every longshore home. Windows sparkled clear, and the chimneys wallowed out. And I wove we sniffed the victuals as the vessel went about. The bells upon the church are rung with a mighty joyful cheer. For it's just that I should tell you how, of all days in the year, this day of our adversity was blessed Christmas morn, and the house above the coastguards was a house where I was born. Well, I saw the pleasant room, the pleasant faces there, my mother's silver spectacles, my father's silver hair. And well I saw the firelight, like a flight of homely elves, go dancing round the china plates that stand upon the shelves. And well I knew the talk they had, the talk that was of me, of a shadow on the household and the sun that went to sea. And how wicked fool I seemed in every kind of way to be here and hoarding frozen ropes on the blessed Christmas day. But lit the high sea light, and the dark began to fall, all hands to loose top-gallant sails, heard the captain call. But the Lord shall never stand it, our first mate Jackson cried. It's the only way or the other, Mr. Jackson replied. She staggered to the bearings, but the sails were new and good, and the ship smelled up to windward just as though she understood. As winter's day was ending in the entry of a night, they cleared the very headland and passed below the light. And they heaved a mighty breath, every soul on board but me, and they saw her nose again pointing handsome out to sea. But all that I could think of in the darkness and the cold was just that I was leaving home and my folks were growing old. Come from the Daisied Meadows by Robert Louis Stevenson. Home from the Daisied Meadows, where you linger yet, home, golden-headed playmate, as the sun is set. For the dews are falling fast, the night is come at last. Home with you, home and lay your little head at rest, safe, safe, my little darling, on your mother's breast. Lullaby, darling, your mother's watching you, she be your guardian and your shield. Lullaby, slumber, my darling, till tomorrow be bright upon mountain and field. Long, long the shadows fall, all white and smooth at home your little bed is laid, all around your head be angels. Come, here's adieu to the city, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Come, here's adieu to the city, and hooray for the country again. A broad road lies before me, watered with last night's rain. The timbered country woos me with many a high and bow, and again the shining follows, plowman follows the plough. The whole year's sweat and study, and the whole year's sowing time, comes now to the perfect harvest, and ripens now into rime. For we would sow in the autumn, reap our grain in the spring, and we would go sowing and weeping, and return to reap and sing. Come, my beloved, hear from me, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Come, my beloved, hear from me tales of woods or open sea. Though I spying a fancy rise, a wren's flight higher toward the skies. Or far from cities, brown and bare, play at the least in open air. And all the tales men hear us tell, still at the unfathomed ocean swell, or shall our forest sound abroad below the lonely stars of God. And all let something still be done, still in the corner shine the sun. Slim-ankled maids be fleet of foot, no man disown the rural flute. Still let the hero for the start and all its sweat and beats of heart push on along the untrodden road for some inviolate abode. Still, O beloved, let me hear the great bell beating far and near, the odd unknown enchanting gong, that on the road halls men along, and from the mountain calls afar, that lures a vessel from a star, and with a still aerial sound makes all the earth enchanted groan. Love, and the love of life and act dance, live and sing through all our forward tracks. Till the great God and armored gives to him who reads, to him who lives, a rare and fair romantic strain, that whoso hears must hear again. Consolation, by Robert Louis Stevenson. O he that ever kind and true kept stoutly step by step with you, yea, how long cast your lifetime through, be gone a while before, be no moment gone before, yet doubt not, soon the seasons shall restore your friend to you. He has but turned the corner, still he pushes on with right good will, for mired marsh, by horned hill, that selfsame odorous way, that selfsame upland hopeful way, that you and he through many a doubtful day attempted still. He is not dead, his friend, not dead. I know a path we mortals tread, got some few trifling steps ahead, and near to the end. So that you too, once past the bend, shall meet again, as face to face, with friend you fancy dead. Push gaily on, strong heart, and while you travel forward mile by mile, your Lord is with a backward smile, till you can overtake, and strains his eyes to search his wake, or whistling, as he sees you through the break, waits on a stile. Death to the dead for evermore, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Death to the dead for evermore, a king, a god, the last, the best of friends. Never this mortal journey ends, death like a host comes smiling to the door. Smiling he greets us on the tranquil shore, when neither piping bird nor peeping dawn disturbs the eternal sleep, and in the stillness far withdrawn, our dreamless rest for evermore we keep. For as from open windows forth we peep upon the night-time star beset, with dews for ever wet, so from this garage life a spirit peers, and lo, as a sleeping city death outspread, they breathe with the sleepers evenly, and lo, after the loud wars, triumphs, trumpets, tears, and clamour of man's passion, death appears, and we must rise and go. Soon our eyes tired with sunshine, soon the ears weary of utterance, seeing all is said. Soon wrecked by hopes and fears, we all pondering, all contriving had, where with all things wearies of the years, and all sad spirits turn toward the dead, and the tired child the body longs for bed. Early in the morning I hear on your piano, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Early in the morning I hear on your piano, you at least, I guess it's so, proceed to learn to play. Most little minds should take and tackle their piano, where the birds are singing in the morning of the day. Escape at Bedtime, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The lights from the parlor and kitchen shone out, the blinds and the windows and bars, and high overhead and all moving about there were thousands of millions of stars. And never were such thousands of leaves on the tree, nor of people in church or the park, as the crowds of the stars that looked down upon me, and that glittered and winked in the dark. The dog and the plough and the hunter, and all, and the star of a sailor and Mars, we shone in the sky, and the pail by the wall half full of water and stars. They saw me at last, and they chased me with cries, and they soon had me packed into bed. But the glory kept shining and bright in my eyes, and the stars going round in my head. Fair Isle at Sea, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Fair Isle at Sea, the lovely name soft to my ear like music came. With sea I laughed, and once or twice I touched at isles of paradise. Fairy Bread, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Come up here, O dusty feet, here's fare ready to eat. Here in my retiring room, children, you may dine on the golden smell of broom and the shade of pine. And you have eaten well, fairy stories hear and tell. Farewell, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Farewell, and a forth I through the golden gates to golden isles, steerward smiling through the sea of smiles, isle upon isle, on the seas of the south, isle upon island, sea upon sea. How should I sail, where should the breeze? I have been young and I have been counted friends, a hopeless sailor spread too late, too late. Or should I from isle to isle sail, a hopeless sailor? Farewell to the Farm, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The couch is at the door at last, we eager children mounting fast and kissing hands in chorus sing, goodbye, goodbye to everything. The house and garden, the field and lawn, the meadow gates we swung open, to bump and stable, tree and swing, goodbye, goodbye to everything. And fare you well for evermore, or let ever the hayloft door, or hayloft that the cobwebs cling, goodbye, goodbye to everything. Crack goes the whip and off we go, the trees and houses smaller grow, last round the woody turn we sing, goodbye, goodbye to everything. Fear not, dear friend, but freely live your days, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Fear not, dear friend, but freely live your days, for lesser life should suffer. Such am I, a lesser life, but what is his of sky gladly would give for you and would of praise. Step without trouble down the sunlit ways. We that have touched your raiment are made whole from all the selfish cankers of man's soul, and we would see you happy, dear, or die. Wherefore be brave, and wherefore, dear, be free. Try all things resolutely, till the best out of all lesser betters you shall find. And we who have learned greatness from you, we, your lovers, with a still contented mind, see you well anchored in some port of rest. 15 men on the dead man's chest, by Robert Louis Stevenson. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. Fixed is the doom, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Fixed is the doom, and to the last of years, teacher and taught, friend, lover, parent, child, each walks, though near, yet separate, each beholds his dear one shine, behold him like the stars. We also love for ever dwell apart, with Christ's approach, with Christ behold the gulp, be unvaulted, as two great eagles ready to wheel in air above a mountain, and with screams confer, far heard afar the cedars. Yet the years shall bring us ever near, day by day entering, week by week, till death at last dissolve that long divorce. By faith we love, not knowledge, by faith of a far removed, dwells in perfect nearness, heart to heart. We but excuse those things we merrily are, and to our souls a brave deception cherish. So from unhappy war man returns unfearing of a seaman from the deep. So from cool night and woodlands to a feast, many someone enter, and still breathe with dews, and an eye still wear the dusky night. Flower god, god of spring, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Flower god, god of the spring, beautiful, bountiful, cold-dyed shield in the sky, lover of versicles, here a one in April, cold, grey-headed, and still to my heart, spring comes with a bound, spring the deliverer, spring, song-lead and woods, coldly resonant. Spring, flower planter and meadows, child conductor and willowy fields, deep dotted with bloom, daisies and crocuses. Hear that child from his heartstrings of eternity. O child, happy are children. She still smiles on the innocent she, dear mother in God, fostering violets, fills earth full of askance, voices and violence. Thus one cunning in music wakes old cause in the memory. Thus the earth in the spring leads the performances. One more touch of the bow, smell of the virginal green, one more, and my bosom feels new life with an ecstasy. For Richmond's garden wall, by Robert Louis Stevenson. When Thomas set this tablet here, time laughed at the vain chanticleer, and Evermore set dimmed the stone, time had defected that garrison. Now I in turn keep watch and ward in my red house, in my walled yard of sunflowers, sitting here at ease with friends and my bright canvases. But hark, and you may hear quite plain Time's chuckled laughter in the lane. From a railway carriage, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows for horses and cattle. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye painted stations whistle by. Here's a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles. Here's a tramp who stands and gazes, and here's the green for stringing the daisies. Here's a car and runaway in the road, lumbering along with man and load. And here's the mill, and there's the river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Good night, by Robert Louis Stevenson. When the bright lamp is carried in, the sunless hours again begin. How all without, in field and lane, the haunted night returns again. Now we behold the embers flee about the firelit hearth, and see our faces painted as we pass like pictures on the window glass. Must we to bed indeed? Well, then let us arise and go like men, and face with an undaunted tread the long black passage up to bed. Farewell, our brother, sister, sire, a pleasant party round the fire. The songs you sing, the tales you tell, till far tomorrow, fare you well. Had I the power that hath a will, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Had I the power that hath a will, infallible will, a modern curse, this book of mine should blossom still, a perfect garden ground of verse. White placid marble God should keep good watch on every shadowy lawn, and from clean, easy-breathing sleep the bird should wake me at dawn. A fairy garden, none the less, throughout these gracious paths of mine, all day there should be free access for stricken hearts and lives that pine, and by the folded lawns all day no idle gods for such a land, while active love should take its way of active labor hand in hand. Happy thought, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. Historical Associations, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Dear Uncle Jim, this garden ground, would know you smoke your pipe around, has seen immortal actions done, and valiant battles lost and won. Here we at best on tiptoe tread, while I for safety march ahead, for this is that enchanted ground, where all who loiter slumber sound. Here's the sea, here's the sand, here's the simple shepherd's land. Here the fairy hollyhocks, and there Alabama's rocks. But yonder sea, apart and high, frozen Siberia lies, where I with Robert Bruce William Tell was bound by an enchanter's spell. How, my little children, here are songs for you. Come, my little children, here are songs for you. Some are short and some are long, and all are new. You must learn to sing them very small and clear, very true to time and tune and pleasing to the ear. Mark the note that rises, mark the notes that fall, mark the time when broken, and the swing of it all. So when night is come, and you have gone to bed, all the songs you love to sing shall echo in your head. I know not how, but as I count, by Robert Louis Stevenson. I know not how, but as I count the beats of former years, old laughter catches in my throat with the very feel of tears. I love to be warm by the red fireside, by Robert Louis Stevenson. I love to be warm by the red fireside, I love to be wet with rain. I love to be welcome at lamplit doors, and leave the doors again. I who all the winter through, by Robert Louis Stevenson. I who all the winter through cherished other loves than you, and kept hands with hoary polis and marriage bed and pew. Now I know the false and true, for the earnest sun looks through, and my old love comes to meet me in the dawning and the dew. Now the hedges mats renew rustic odor, smiling hue, and the clean air shines and tinkles as the world goes reeling through. My heart springs up anew, bright and confident and true. My old love comes to meet me in the dawning and the dew. I, whom Apollo sometime visited, by Robert Louis Stevenson. I, whom Apollo sometime visited, or feigned to visit, Now my day being done, to slumber wholly, nor shall know at all the weariness of changes, nor perceive immeasurable sands of centuries drink all the blanching ink of loud sound of generations beat the music down. In port, Robert Louis Stevenson. Last to the chamber where I lie, my fearful footsteps patter nigh, and come out from the cold and gloom into my warm and cheerful room, where, safe arrived, turn about to keep the coming shadows out, and close the happy door at last on all the perils that we passed. When mamma goes by to bed, she'll come in with tiptoe tread, and see me lying warm and fast in the land of Nod at last. In the green and gallant spring, by Robert Louis Stevenson. In the green and gallant spring, love and the lyre I thought to sing, and kisses sweet to give and take, where the floral hawthorn break. And was the russet autumn here, deafened the grave and winter drear, and I must ponder here aloof, the rain is on the roof. In the States, by Robert Louis Stevenson. With half a year a wonder year is from an age gone by, a brother yet, though young in years, an elder brother I. You speak in that hand in mine, though both were English born. I towards the night of time decline, you moaned into the morn. You should grow great and strong and free, but age must still decay. Tomorrow for the States, for me, England and yesterday. Late, O Miller, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Late, O Miller, the birds are silent, the darkness falls, and the house the lights are lighted. See in the valley they twinkle the lights of home. Late, O lovers, the night is at hand, silence and darkness clothe the land. Let love go, if go she will, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Let love go, if go she will, seek not a fool her wanton flight to stay. Of all she gives and takes away, the best remains behind her still. The best remains behind, in vain, joy she may give and take again, joy she may take and leave us pain, if yet she leaves behind the constant mind to meet all fortunes noble, to endure all things with a good heart, and still be pure, still the foremost cause, and still be worthy of the love that was. Love coming and omnipotent indeed, but not love going, and let her go. The seed springs in the favouring summer air and grows and waxes strong, and as summer goes remains a perfect tree. Joy she may give and take again, joy she may take and leave us pain. Our love, and what care we? One thing thou hast given, our love, one thing is ours that nothing can remove. And as the king discrowned is still a king, the unhappy lover still preserves his love. Looking Forward, by Robert Louis Stevenson. When I am grown to man's estate, I shall be very proud and great, and tell the other girls and boys not to meddle with my toys. Loud and low in the chimney, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Loud and low in the chimney the squalls aspire, when like an answer dwindles and glows the fire, and the chamber reddens and darkens, time like taking breath. Near by the sounding chimney the youth apart hearkens with changing colour and leaping heart, and hears in the coil of the tempest the voice of love and death. Love on high in the flute-like and tender notes, sounds as from April meadows and hillside cotes, but the deep wood wind in the chimney utters the slogan of death. Mine eyes were swift to know thee, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Mine eyes were swift to know thee, and my heart is swift to love. And it become at once thine holy, thine unutterable vine, an honourable service, pure intent, steadfast access of love and loving care. And as she was, so am, and so shall be. I knew thee helpful, I knew thee true, knew thee in pity bedfellows. I heard thy talk of unanswerable throbbings. On the stream deep, swift and clear, the lilies floated. Fish through the shadows ran, where woe and I read kindness in our eyes and closed the match. My bed is a boat, Robert Louis Stevenson. My bed is like a little boat. Nurse helps me in when I embark. She girds me in my sailor's coat and starts me in the dark. At night I go on board and say, good night to all my friends on shore. I shut my eyes and sail away and see and hear no more. And sometimes things to bed I take, as prudent sailors have to do. Perhaps a slice of wedding cake, perhaps a toy or two. All night across the dark we steer, but when the day returns at last, safe in my room beside the pier, I find my vessel fast. My heart when first the blackbird sings, by Robert Louis Stevenson. My heart when first the blackbird sings, my heart rings in the song. Cool pleasure fills my bosom through, and spreads each nerve along. My bosom eddies quietly, my heart is stirred and cool, as when a wind-moved briar sweeps us down into a pool. But into thee, when thee I meet, my pulse is thickening fast, as when the maddened lake grows black and revels in the blast. My house, I say, by Robert Louis Stevenson. My house, I say, but dark to the sunny doze that make my roof the arena of their love. I carry about the gable all day long, until the chimneys with a murmurous song. Our house, they say, and mine, the cat declares, it spreads with golden fleece upon the chairs, and mine the dog and rises stiff with wrath, if any alien foot profane the path. So too the buck that trimmed my terraces, and whilom garden I called the garden his, who now the post surveys my plain abode, and his last kingdom only from the road. My Kingdom by Robert Louis Stevenson. Down by the shining water well I found a very little dell, no higher than my head. The heather and the gorse abode, and summer bloom were coming out, some yellow and some red. I called the little pool a sea, the little hills were big to me, for I am very small. I made a boat, I made a town, I searched the caverns up and down, and in them one and all. And all the boat was mine, I said, with the sparrows overhead, the little minnows too. This was the world, and I was king. For me the bees came by to sing, for me the swallows flew. I played there were no deeper seas, nor any wider plains than these, nor any other kings than me. At last I heard my mother call out from the house at evenfall to call me home to tea. And I must arise and leave my dell, and leave my dimpled water well, and leave my heather blooms. Alas, and as my home I neared, how very big my nurse appeared, how great and cool the rooms. My love was warm, by Robert Louis Stevenson. My love was warm, for that I crossed the mountains and the sea, on account of it and day were lost that gave my love to me. If that indeed were love at all, is still my love I throw, by what dear name am I to call the bond that holds me now? My Shadow by Robert Louis Stevenson. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me and I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow, not at all like proper children, which is always very slow, for he sometimes shoots up taller like an Indian rubber ball, and he sometimes goes so little that there is none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of what children ought to play, can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close behind me, he's a coward, you can see. I'd think shame to stick to nursie as the shadow sticks to me. One morning very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. My Ship and I by Robert Louis Stevenson. Oh, it's I that am the captain of a tiny little ship, of a ship that goes a-sailing on the pond, and my ship it keeps a-turning all around and all about. But when I'm a little older, I shall find the secret out, how to send my vessel sailing on beyond. For I mean to grow little as the dolly at the helm, and the dolly I intend to come alive. And with him beside to help me, it's a-sailing I shall go, it's sailing on the water, and jolly breezes blow, on a vessel goes a-dive, dive, dive. Oh, it's when you'll see me sailing through the rushes and the reeds, you'll hear the water singing at the prow. For beside the dolly sailor, I'm to voyage and explore, to land upon the island where no dolly was before, and to fire the penny cannon in the bow. My Treasures by Robert Louis Stevenson. These nuts that I keep in the back of the nest, where all my tin soldiers are lying at rest, were gathered in autumn by nursie and me in a wood with a well by the side of a sea. This whistle they made, how clearly it sounds, by the side of a field at the end of the grounds. Of a branch of a plane with a knife of my own, it was nursie who made it, and nursie alone. The stone, the white and the yellow and grey, we discovered I cannot tell how far away. And I carried it back all the weary and cold, for though father denies it, I'm sure it is gold. But of all my treasures, the last is the king, for there's very few children possess such a thing, and that is a chisel with handle and blade, which a man who was really carpenter made. My Wife by Robert Louis Stevenson. Trusty, dusky, vivid, true, with eyes of gold and brimble hue, steel true and blade straight, a great artificer made by maid. Honor, anger, veil or fire, a love that life could never tire, death quench or evil stir, the mighty master gave to her. Teacher, tender, comrade, wife, a fellow farer, true for life, heart whole and soul free, the august father gave to me. Nest Eggs by Robert Louis Stevenson. Birds of the summer day flutter and crowl here in the arbor-like tent of a laurel. Here in the fork the brown nest is seated, for little blue eggs the mother keeps heated. I was still watching her staring like gabbies, safe in each egg are the birds' little babies. Soon the frail eggs they shall chip, and upspringing make all the April woods merry with singing. Younger when we are, our children and frailer, soon the blue air they'll be, singer and sailor. We so much older, taller and stronger, we shall look down on the birdies no longer, and shall go flying with musical speeches high overhead and the tops of the beeches. In spite of our wisdom and sensible talking, we on our feet must go, plodding and walking. Now when the number of my years by Robert Louis Stevenson. Now when the number of my years is all fulfilled, and I from sedentary life shall rouse me up to die, bury me low and let me lie under the wide and starry sky. Joying to live, I joy to die, bury me low and let me die. Clear was my soul, my deeds were free, honor was called my name. I fell not back from fear, nor followed after fame. Bury me low and let me lie under the wide and starry sky. Joying to live, I joy to die, bury me low and let me die. Bury me low in the valleys green, and if a milder breeze blows fresh along the stream, sings around lean with trees. Bury me low and let me lie under the wide and starry sky. Joying to live, I joy to die, bury me low and let me die. O dull, cold northern sky, by Robert Louis Stevenson. O dull, cold northern sky, O brawling Sabbath bells, O feeble twittering autumn bird that tells the years alike to die. O still spoiled trees or city ways, O sun desired in vain, and red presentment of coming rain, that cloys with sullen days. Thee, heart of mine, agreed, in what hard mountain pass strivest for, and what important morrows sink now at their feet. Or runs the hopeless race to win despair, the crown awaits success, but leaden gods look down on thee with evil face. And those that would befriend and cherish thy defeat, if angry welcome shall turn sober sweet homecoming of the end. Yea, those that offer praise to idleness shall yet insult thee, coming glorious in the sweat of honorable ways. O now all of the year be done, by Robert Louis Stevenson. O now all of the year be done, no, all of the love be dead, dead and gone. Hear me, O loved and cherished one, give me still the hand that led me on. Over the land is April, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Over the land is April, over my heart a rose. Over a high-brown mountain the sound of singing goes. Say, love, do you hear me, hear my sonnets ring? Over a high-brown mountain, love, do you hear me sing? A highway, love and byway, with now succeed the rose. Over a high-brown mountain, the wind of winter blows. Say, love, do you hear me, hear my sonnets ring? Over a high-brown mountain, sound the song of spring, I throw the flowers of spring. Do you hear the song of spring? Hear the songs of spring? Picture books in winter, Robert Louis Stevenson. Summer fading, winter comes. Frosty mornings, tingling thumbs, window robins, winter rocks, and the picture storybooks. Water now is turned to stone, nurse and I can walk upon, till we find the flowing brooks in the picture storybooks. All the pretty things put by wait upon the children's eye, sheep and shepherds, trees and crooks, in the picture storybooks. You may see how all things are, seas and cities, near and far, and the flying fairies looks in the picture storybooks. Or am I to sing your praise, happy chimney corner days, sitting safe in nursery nooks, reading picture storybooks? Pirate's Story, by Robert Louis Stevenson. 3 of us afloat in the meadow by the swing, 3 of us abroad in the basket on the lee. Winds are in the air, they are blowing in the spring, and waves are on the meadow like the waves we are at sea. It shall be adventure today that we afloat, wary of the weather and steering by a star. Shall be to Africa, a steering of the boat, to Providence or Babylon, or off to Malabar. Hi, but here's a squadron rowing on the sea, cattle in the meadow, a charging with a roar. Quick, and we'll escape them, we're as mad as we can be. Wicked is the harbour, and the garden is the shore. Prayer, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Ask good things that I detest, the speech is fair. Heed not, I pray thee, Lord, my breast, but hear my prayer. I say ill things I would not say, things unaware. Regard my breast, Lord, in my day, and not my prayer. My heart is evil in my sight, my good thoughts flee. O Lord, I cannot wish aright, wish woe for me. Or bend my words and acts to thee, however ill, but I, whate'er I say or be, may serve thee still. I let my thoughts abide in thee, lest I should fall. Show me myself in all I see, O Lord of all. Rain, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Rain is raining all around. It falls on field and tree. It rains on the umbrellas here and on the ships at sea. Shadow March, by Robert Louis Stevenson. All around our house is the jet-black night. It stars through the window pane. It crawls in the corners, hiding from the light, and moves with the moving flame. Now my little heart goes a-beating like a drum, with the breath of the bogies in my hair. And all around the candle and the crooked shadows go marching along up the stair. The shadow of the balusters, the shadow of a lamp, the shadow of a child that goes to bed. All the wicked shadows coming, tramp, 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 with the black night overhead. Since thou hast given me this good hope, O God, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Since thou hast given me this good hope, O God, that where my footsteps tread to flowery sod, and great woods embower me, and white dawn and purple even sweetly lead me on from day to day, and night to night, O God, my life shall nowise miss the light of love. But ever climbing, climb both man's one poor star, man's supine lanes, to azure steadfastness of death, my life shall nowise lack the light of love. My hands shall lack the loving touch of hands. But day by day, while yet I draw my breath, and day by day, unto my last of years, I shall be one what has a perfect friend. My heart shall taste my laughter and my tears, and her kind eyes shall lead me to the end. Since years ago, forevermore, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Since years ago, forevermore, my sailor ship I drew to shore, and to the road and riverbed and the green nodding reeds I said, mine ignorant and last farewell. Now I've contented how mine well, and now divine my sluggish life betwixt my verses and my life. And vain, for when the lamp is lit and by the laughing fire I sit, still with the tattered atlas spread, interminable roads I tread. Singing, by Robert Louis Stevenson. O speckled eggs the birdie sings, and nests among the trees. The sailor sings of ropes and things, in ships upon the seas. The children sing in far Japan, the children sing in Spain. The organ with the organ man is singing in the rain. Small is the trust when love is green, Robert Louis Stevenson. Small is the trust when love is green, and sap of early years. A little thing steps in between, and kisses turn to tears. While and see our love be grown, and loveliness and power. While it laughs for sweets alone, but next it laughs for sore. A little laugh is none at all, that wonders or that fears. A hearty laugh while still it call to kisses or to tears. Such then be mine, my love to give, and such be yours to take. A faith to hold, a life to live, for loving kindness' sake. Should you be sad, should you be gay, or should you prove unkind, a love to hold the growing way and keep the helping mind. A love to turn the love on care, and wrinkled care appears, and with an equal will to share your losses and your tears. So live, so laugh, so use that fragile hour, by Robert Louis Stevenson. So live, so laugh, so use that fragile hour, and in the dark hand of a shining power shall one for mother, wife or husband take, if poor survivor may not weep and wake. Soon our friends perish, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Soon our friends perish, soon all we cherish. Fades as days darken, goes as flowers go. Soon in December, over an ember, lonely we hearken as the loud winds blow. Spring Carol, by Robert Louis Stevenson. When loud by landside streamlets gush, and clean the greenwood quiets with thrush, the sun in the meadows and songs in the meadows comes again to me, the gift of a tons of lea, the gift of a tons of meadows. Straight with my olden heart returns, and dances with the dancing burns, it sings with the sparrows. The rain in the grimy barrows sings my heart aloud, to the silver-bellied clouds, to the silver rainy arrows. It bears the song of a skylark down, and it hears the singing of a town, and you from the highways and lovers and byways follows and sees, and hearkens the song of the leas, and sings the songs of the highways. So when the earth is still with gods, and the lusty ploughman breaks the sod, and grass sings in the meadows, and the flowers smile in the shadows, sits my heart at ease, hearing the song of the leaves, singing the songs of the meadows. Spring Song, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The air was full of sun and birds, the fresh air sparkled clearly. Your remembrance wakened in my heart, they knew I loved her dearly. Fellows and the leafless trees, and all my spirit tingled, my earliest thought of love, and spring's first puff of perfume mingled. In my still heart the thoughts awoke, come lone by lone together. Say, birds in sun and spring, is love a mere a fair weather? Still I love to rhyme, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Still I love to rhyme, and still more rhyming to wander far from the commoner way. Old time trills and falls by the brookside still do I ponder, dreaming tomorrow today. Come here, come, revive me, sun god, teach me Apollo, measures descanted before. Since the ancient verses I emulous follow, prints in the marbles of yore. Still strange, strange they sound in old young Raymond invested, songs for the brain to forget. Young songbirds elate to grave, old temples banners, piping and chirruping yet. Thoughts? Now thought as yet unskilled attempt to flutter, trembled servilely in verse. He who writes but aims at fame, and his bread and his butter, want for groan and a curse. Strange are the ways of man, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Strange are the ways of man, and strange the ways of God. We tread the mazy paths that all our fathers trod. We treat to undismayed, and undismayed behold the portents of the sky, the things that were of old. The 5 stars pursue their course in heaven on high, and around the laggard town crest-tossing heroes cry, and martial fives declare, how small to mortal minds is merely mortal care. To the clang of steel and cry of piercing flute, above azure peaks God shall plant his foot. A God in arms shall stand, and seeing wide and far a green and golden earth at the killing tide of war, he with uplifted arms shall to the skies proclaim the gleeful fate of man, the noble road to fame. Summer Sun by Robert Louis Stevenson. Great is the sun, and wide he goes, for empty heaven with repose, and the blue and glowing days, more thick and rain he showers his rays. For closer still the blinds we pull, to keep the shady parlour cool, yet he will find a chink or two to slip his golden fingers through. The dusty attic spider clad he through the keyhole maketh glad, and with broken edge of tiles to the leathered hayloft smiles. Meantime his golden face around he bars to all the garden ground, and sheds a warm and glittering look among the ivy's inmost nook. Above the hills, along the blue, around the bright air the footing true, to please the child, to paint the rose, the garden of the world he goes. Shallows Travel To and Fro by Robert Louis Stevenson. Shallows travel to and fro, and great winds come and go, and the steady breezes blow, being perfume, bearing a laugh. Breezes hasten, shallows fly, towered clouds forever ply, and at noonday you and I see the same sunshine above. Dew and rain fall everywhere, harvests ripen, flowers are fair, and the whole round earth is bare to the moonshine and the sun. And the live air, thin with wings, bright with breeze and sunshine, brings into contact distant things, and makes all the countries one. Let us wonder where we will, something kindred greets us still, something seen on vale or hill falls familiar on the heart. So its scant or sound of sight, zivered sounds by day and night, tremble with the same delight, tremble half a world apart. System by Robert Louis Stevenson. Every night my prayers I say, and get my dinner every day. And every day that I've been good, I get an orange of her food. The child that is not clean and neat, with lots of toys and things to eat, he's a naughty child, I'm sure, or else his dear papa's poor. Tempest tossed and sore afflicted by Robert Louis Stevenson. Tempest tossed and sore afflicted, sin defilled and care oppressed. Come to me, all ye that labor, come, and I will give ye rest. Fear no more, O doubting hearted, weep no more, O weeping eye. Love a voice of your Redeemer, love a songful morning near. Hear 1 hour you toil and combat, sin and suffer, bleed and die. And my Father's quiet mansion soon to lay your burden by. Be a moment heavy laden, weary hand and weeping eye. Love the feet of your deliverer, love the hour of freedom here. The angler rose, he took his rod, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The angler rose, he took his rod, he kneeled and made his prayers to God. The living God sat overhead, the angler tripped, the eels were fed. The Celestial Surgeon by Robert Louis Stevenson. For I have faltered more or less in my great task of happiness, for I have moved among my race and shown a glorious morning face, if beams from happy human eyes have moved me not, if morning skies, books in my foot, and summer rain knocked on my sullen heart and vein, not the most pointed pleasure take, and step my spirit broad awake. Or, Lord, if too obdurate I, choosable, before that spirit die, a piercing pain, a killing sin, to my dead heart run them in. The clock's clear voice into the clear air, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The clock's clear voice into the clear air, westward far I roam, moans with a thrill of hope, falls with a sigh of home. A rural sentry he from farm and field of coming mourners cries, and mankind's bugler wakes the camp of enterprise. He sings the morn upon the westward hills, strangely remote and wild. He sings it in the land where once there was a child. It brings to me the voices of the past, the old land and the years. A father calls for me, my weeping spirit hears. Fifth into the golden air, O bird, and sing the morning in. The old days are past and new days begin. The Flowers by Robert Louis Stevenson. All the names I know from nurse, gardeners, shepherd's purse, bachelor's buttons, lady smock, and the lady hollyhock. Fair places, fair things, fair woods where the wild bee wings, tiny trees for tiny dames, these must all be fairy names. Tiny woods below whose boughs shady fairies weave a house, tiny tree tops, rose or thyme, where the braver fairies climb. Fair are grown-up people's trees, where the fairest woods are wees, where, if I were not so tall, I should live for good and all. The Lamplighter by Robert Louis Stevenson. My tea is nearly ready, and the sun has left the sky. It's time to take the window to see Lyrie going by. For every night at tea time, and before you take your seat, a lantern with leather comes posting up the street. Now Tom would be a driver and Maria go to sea, for Pa's a banker and as rich as he can be. But I, when I am stronger and can choose what I am to do, oh Larry, I go round at night and light the lamps with you. We are very lucky with the lamp before the door, and Larry stops to light it as he lights so many more. Now before you hurry by my ladder and with the light, oh Larry, see a little child and not to him tonight. The Land of Storybooks by Robert Louis Stevenson. At evening, when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. We sit at home and talk and sing, do not play at anything. Now with my little gun I crawl all in the dark along the wall, and fall around the forest track away behind the sofa back. Then the night, when none can spy, on my hunter's camp I lie, and play at books that I have read till it is time to go to bed. These are the hills, these are the woods, these are my starry solitudes, and we have a river by whose brink roaring lions came to drink. I see the others far away, as if in violet camp they lay, and I, like to an Indian scout, around the party prowled about. So my nurse comes in for me, I return across the sea, and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. The Lightkeeper by Robert Louis Stevenson. A brilliant kernel of a night, a flaming light-room circles me. I sit within the blaze of light, held high above the dusky sea, far off the surf of break and roar, along bleak miles of moonlit shore. And through the tides the tumbling wave falls in an avalanche of foam, and drives its churned waters home up many an undercliff and cave. The Mirror speaks by Robert Louis Stevenson. With the bells peal far at sea, cunning fingers fashioned me. Beyond palace walls I hung, I would console sung. But I heard, or listened well, never a note, never a trill, never a beat of a chiming bell. They hung and looked, and my grey faces fair, shone from under shining hair. And I saw the poisoned head, and was moved and nothing said. And when lights were in the hall, silent moved the dancers on. So while I glowed, when I fell on dusty days and men, long I slumbered packed in straw, long I none but dealers saw, till before my silent eye, on which seas came passing by. Now with an outlandish grace to the sparkling fire I face, in blue room of sycamore, where I wait until the door open, and the Prince of Man, Henry James, shall come in. The Moon by Robert Louis Stevenson. The moon has a face like the clock in the hall. She shines on thieves on the garden wall, on trees and fields and harbour quays, and birdies asleep in the forks of the trees. The squalling cat with the squeaking mouse, the howling dog by the door of the house, the bat that lies in bed at noon, or love to be out by the light of the moon. But all of the things that belong to the day cuddle to sleep to be out of the way, and flows and children close their eyes, love in the morning the sun shall arise. The Sick Child by Robert Louis Stevenson. Oh, mother, lay your hand on my brow. Oh, mother, mother, where am I now? Where's the room so gaunt and great, where my lying awake so late? Fear not at all, the night is still, nothing is here that means you ill, nothing but lambs the whole town through, and never a child awake but you. Mother, mother, speak low in my ear. Some of the things are so great and near, some are so small and far away. I have a fear that I cannot say. What have I done? What do I fear? Why are you crying, mother dear? Out in the city sounds begin. Thank the kind God, the carts come in. An hour or two more, and God is so kind, the day shall be blue in the window blind. And shall my child go sweetly asleep, and dream of the birds and the hills of the sheep. The summer sun shone round me, Robert Louis Stevenson. The summer sun shone round me, the folded valley lay, in a stream of sun and odor, that sultry summer day. The tall trees stood in the sunlight, as still could be, but the deep grass sighed and rustled, and bowed and beckoned me. The deep grass moved, and whispered, and bowed and brushed my face. It whispered in the sunshine, winter comes apace. The sun travels, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The sun is not abed, and I at night upon my pillow lie. Still round the earth his way he takes, and morning after morning makes. While he at home in shining day, around the sunny garden play, each little Indian sleepy head is being kissed and put to bed. And when at eve I rise from tea, day dawns beyond the Atlantic Sea, while the children in the west are getting up and being dressed. The Swing by Robert Louis Stevenson. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it is the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the world, and I can see so wide, river and trees and cattle and all over the countryside. To look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown, up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. The Vanquished Knight by Robert Louis Stevenson. I've left all upon the shameful field, honor and hope, my God, and all but life. Spurless with sword, with worse and dinted shield, degraded and disgraced, I leave his strife. For him that half not, shall when not be taken e'en that he half, when he deserts the strife? Life left by all life's benefits forsaken, or keep the promise, Lord, and take the life. The wind blew shrill and smart by Robert Louis Stevenson. The wind blew shrill and smart, and the wind awoke my heart. Again to go a-sailing over the sea, to hear the cordage moan, and the straying timbers groan, and to see the flying pennon lie a-lee. O sailor of the fleet, it is time to stir the feet, it's time to man the dinghy and to row, let's lay your hand in mine, and let's empty down the wine, and let's drain a health to death before we go. To death, my lads, we sail, and it's death that lows the gale, and death that holds the tiller as we ride. For he's the king of all, and the tempest and the squall, and the ruler of the ocean wild and wide. The wind is without wear and howls in the trees, by Robert Louis Stevenson. The wind is without wear and howls in the trees, and the rain flowers drum on the glass. Alone by the fireside with elbows on knees, I can number the hours as they pass. Yet know, when to cheer me the crickets begin, the pipe is just hardly lit. Believe me, my friend, for the evening draws in, but not all uncontested I sit. Alone, did I say? Oh, nowise alone. If the past thing warm on my knee, to gossip of days that are over and gone, but still charming to her and to me. With much to be glad of and much to deplore, yet as these days with those you compare, believe me, my friend, though the sorrows seem more, there's some are more easy to bear. And though fated future, uncertain and frail, as I cherish the light in each draught, as lamp is not more to the miner, as sail is not more to the crew on a raft, for hope can make feeble ones earnest and brave, and as forth through the years I look on, believe me, my friend, between this and the grave, I see wonderful things to be done. To do or to try, and believe me, my friend, if a call should come early for me, I can leave these foundations uprooted and tend for some new city over the sea. To do or to try, and if failure be mine, and a fortune go cross to my plan, believe me, my friend, while more on the design, I shall never lament for the man. The Wind, by Robert Louis Stevenson. I saw you toss the kites on high, and blow the birds about the sky, and all around I heard you pass, like a lady skirts across the grass. A wind a blowing all day long, a wind that sings the loudest song. I saw the different things you did, but always yourself you hid. I felt you push, I heard you call, I could not see yourself at all. A wind a blowing all day long, a wind that sings the loudest song. Are you that are so strong and cold, O blower, are you young or old? Are you a beast of field and tree, or just a stronger child than me? A wind a blowing all day long, a wind that sings the loudest song. The Gloomy Northern Day, by Robert Louis Stevenson. This gloomy northern day, of this yet gloomier night, has moved with something high in my cold heart, and I, that do not often pray, would pray tonight. And first when we are called for bread or pot of might, enough of bread for all, and for the famished town called hunger may lay down, with none tonight. I pray for hope no less, a strong-sinewed hope, O Lord, that to the struggling young may preach with brazen tongue, stout labour, high success, and bright reward. And last, O Lord, I pray for hearts resigned and bold to trudge the dusty way, hearts stored with song and joke, and warmer than a cloak against the cold. If nothing else he had, he who has this has all. This comforts under pain, this through the stinging rain keeps Ragamuffin glad behind the wall. This makes the sand in the palace for a prince, and this when griefs begin and cruel fate and noise can bring to mind the joys of ages since. For deep indifference should rose, by Robert Louis Stevenson. For deep indifference should rose with sluggish life beneath my brows, and all the external things I see grow snow-shows in the street to me, yet inmost in my stormy sense, thy look shall be an influence. While other loves may come and go, and long years there vast below, shall the thin ice that grows above freeze the deep central well of love? Now still below light armours, or shall it rule me as thou rulest me now? Year following year shall only set fresh gems upon my coronet, and time-grown lover should delight to beautify thee in my sight, or should ever rule in me crown with light of memory. To all that laugh afar and blue, by Robert Louis Stevenson. To all that laugh afar and blue, that from dawn to eve on foot, the fleeting corners ye pursue, no worry of the vain pursuit. Or whether down the singing stream, paddle in hand, jerking ye shoot, to splash beside the splashing bream, or anchor by the willow root. Or boulder from the narrow shore, put forth its cedar arc to steer, among the seabirds in the roar of a great sea, profound and clear. Or lastly, if on heart ye roam, not caring to do else and hear, save sitting by the fire at home, footfalls in Utah or Pamarin. Or long the way, the hard to bear, the sun and rain, the dust and dew, was still attainment and despair, interview to spoil the new. Where shall at length be sure of friends, ever you stir, whatever you do, at length and at the end of ends, the golden city come in view. To any reader by Robert Louis Stevenson. So the house your mother sees you playing around the garden trees, so you may see, if you will look, the windows of his book, another child far, far away, in another garden play. But do not think you can at all, by knocking on the window call the child to hear you. He intent is all on his play business bent. He does not hear, he will not look, nor yet be lured out of his book. For long ago, the truth to say, he has grown up and gone away, and it is but a child of air that lingers in the garden where. To Friends at Home by Robert Louis Stevenson. To friends at home, the lone, the admired, the lost, the gracious old, the lovely young, to May the fair, December the beloved, these from the blue horizon green isles, these from this pinnacle of distance's eye, the unforgetful dedicate. To My Mother by Robert Louis Stevenson. You to my mother read my rhymes, for love of unforgotten times, and you may chance to hear once more the little feet along the floor. To the Commissioners of Northern Lights by Robert Louis Stevenson. I send to you, Commissioners, a paper that may please you, sirs, for troth I say it might be worse than I believed, and on your business lay my curse before I left. I thought I'd serve for you, sirs Yins, but I thought better of it since. The matter will now I mince, but tell you true, I'd serve you some the prince, and no with you. I've no been very deep, you think, came delicately to the brink, and when the water guard me shrink, scratched up the rue, and in their stop they fill to drink, I own it true. I can on cape and isle light, burn fair and clear, ickle night. But at the service I took fright, as suns I saw, being still and never tired God's charge over. In never cause I no begin, the wick I carry for my sin, because my voice shall echo in, and all can tell, that either day I may begin, or you're myself. To what shall I compare her? By Robert Louis Stevenson. To what shall I compare her that is as fair as she? For she is fair, fairer than the sea. What shall be likened to her, the sainted of my youth? For she is truer, truer than the truth. As the stars are from the sleeper, her heart is hid from me, for she is deeper, deeper than the sea. Yet my dreams they view her, flushed rosy with new ruth, dreams. Aye, may these prove truer than the truth. To Willie and Henrietta, by Robert Louis Stevenson. If to my read and write with rhymes of old delight, and house and garden play, you two my cousins, and you only may. You in the garden green, with me were king and queen, the hunter, soldier, tar, on all the thousand things that children are. And on the elder's seat we rest with quiet feet, and from the window bay we watch the children, our successors play. Time was the golden head, evocable said, but time which one can bind, while flowing fast away, leaves a love behind. Voluntary by Robert Louis Stevenson. Here in the quiet eve my thankful eyes receive the quiet light. I see the trees stand fair against the faded air, and star by star prepare the perfect night. And in my bosom low, content and quiet grow toward perfect peace. Now when day is done, brief day of wind and sun, the pure stars, one by one, their troop increase. Keen pleasure and keen grief give place to great relief. Farewell, my tears. Still sounds toward my float, hear the bird's small note, sheep from the far sheepcote and lowing stirs. For lo the war is done, lo now the battle won, the trumpet still. The shepherd's slender strain, the country sounds again, awake in wood and plain, and hard and hill. Loud wars and loud laughs cease, I welcome my release, and hail once more, free foot and way worldwide. And oft at eventide, let laughter talk beside the hostel door. Wedding Prayer by Robert Louis Stevenson. Lord, behold our family here assembled. We thank you for this place in which we dwell, for the love that unites us, for the peace accorded us this day, for the hope of which we expect the more, for the health the work of the foot, and the bright skies that make our lives delightful, for our friends in all parts of the earth. Amen. What man may learn, what man may do, by Robert Louis Stevenson. What man may learn, what man may do, of right or wrong, or false or true, while skipper-like his course he stirs, through 29 mingled years, half misconceived and half forgot, so much I know and practice not. Old are the words of wisdom old, the counsels of wise and bold, to close the ears, to check the tongue, to keep the pining spirit young, to act the right, to say the true, and to be kind whatever you do. Thus we across the modern stage for the wise of every age, and as oaks grow and rivers run, unchanged in the unchanging sun, so the eternal march of man goes forth on an eternal plan. When the sun comes after rain, by Robert Louis Stevenson. When the sun comes after rain, and the bird is in the blue, the girls go down the lane two by two. And the sun comes after shadow, and the singing of the showers, the girls go up the meadow, fair as flowers. And the eve comes dusky red, and the moon succeeds the sun, the girls go home to bed one by one. And when life draws to its even, and the day of man is past, they shall all go home to heaven, home at last. Where go the boats? By Robert Louis Stevenson. Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand, it flows along forever with trees on either hand. Green leaves are floating, castles of a foam, boats of mine are boating, we will all come home. On goes the river, and out past the mill, away down the valley, away down the hill. Away down the river, 100 miles or more, our little children shall bring my boats ashore. Windy Nights, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Never the moon and stars are set, never the wind is high, all night long in the dark and wet a man goes riding by. Late in the night and the fires are out, why does he gallop and gallop about? Never the trees are crying aloud, and ships are tossed at sea. By on the highway, low and loud, by at the gallop goes on. By at the gallop he goes, and then by he comes back at the gallop again. Winter Time, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fire sleepy head. Blinks but an hour or two, and then a blood-red orange sets again. Before the stars have left the skies, at morning the dark I rise, and shivering in my nakedness by the cold candle, bath and dress. Close by the jolly fire I sit, to warm my frozen bones a bit, or with the reindeer sled explore the colder countries around the door. And to go out, my nurse doth wrap me in my comforter and cap. The cold wind burns my face, and blows its frosty paper up my nose. Black are my steps on silver sod, thick blows my frosty breath abroad, and tree and house and hill and lake are frosted like a wedding cake. Young Nightford, by Robert Louis Stevenson. All night long and every night, when my mamma puts out the light, I see the people marching by, as plain as day before my eye. Armies and emperor and kings, all carrying different kinds of things, all marching in so grand a way you never saw the like by day. So fine a show was never seen at a great circus on the green, where every kind of beast and man is marching in that caravan. As first to move a little slow, but still the faster on they go, and still beside me close they keep, until we reach the town of sleep. Youth and Love, by Robert Louis Stevenson. To the heart of youth the world is a highway side, passing forever he fars, and on either hand deep in the garden's golden pavilions hide, nestled in orchard bloom, and far on the level land, calling with lighted lamp in the eventide. Thick as the stars at night, and the moon is down, pleasures assail him. He feels nobler fate flares, and with waves a hand as he passes on, cries by the wayside word to her at the garden gate, sings by the boyish stave, and his face is gone.